Jewish, Mediterranean, Middle Eastern.
I just very much had the altruistic piece of me triggered.
And she's going to look at that and say, that's a lot. And it says right here, make a difference today, donate your eggs. It makes it sound like it's this, act of benevolence.
To think that this is someone who cannot have children otherwise.
Recent data we have is from 2007 from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It shows that in the United States alone, over 17,000 assisted reproductive technology cycles were performed using donated eggs. And this number is on the rise. Reproductive technology has gone mainstream and is depicted in film and television, sometimes making light of this situation. But for all the feel-good marketing and popular representation of fertility treatment, there is an alarming absence of published, peer-reviewed medical research and data on egg donation and the women who donate. And with more stories surfacing, we have only seen the tip of the iceberg. Is egg donation really as safe as the industry would like us to think? What safety should be put in place to protect egg donors? Are we fulfilling one woman's dream at the expense of another's health or life?
They don't tell you any of the health risks.
I find it really offensive because I get these on my Facebook all the time.
They're offering us, $20,000, $50,000, whatever the dollar amount is, and it's really sad because they know we're desperate for money.
To an ad, and went on to sell her eggs 3 times during her 20s. She was later diagnosed with colon cancer, and by 34, she was dead.
She already accomplished so much in her 29 years, and she could have, if she had had 3 times as long, I can only imagine what she would have done. We have her opera, we have classical music she's composed, and she's gone.
And what I found was that there was nothing stating that there were risks to egg donors.
Looking up studies and trying to see if there was anything I should be wary of, what side effects a procedure might have. And after doing that research and not coming up with much in terms of risks or dangers, then I decided it was safe to proceed. They have a requirement, at least my agency did, that you have to produce at least a certain number of eggs or else it will count as a failed cycle.
Even when the egg donor raises concerns about her health, her fears are often ignored.
I was encouraged to stay the course. Everything was fine. We don't want this cycle to fail. You should keep doing this. Even though I questioned their protocol and everything.
The first drug they sent me is called Lupron, and its job basically is just to stop the donor's menstrual cycle.
And the woman on the other line reportedly, because I couldn't hold the telephone at this point, said, it's all part of taking the Lupron. It's very common. Make sure she keeps taking the medicine.
What was not known was that I had a small benign tumor on the pituitary gland. So when I started taking that drug, I became very ill because basically that tumor had a catalyst and caused a major stroke. So I was paralyzed on my left side and brain damage.
For an entire night. And it was during that night that I called the doctors at the clinic, and they agreed that I should come back in first thing the next morning. And that was the first time that I saw the doctor who had performed the retrieval. And when he saw my distended abdomen, his face went white. And he looked me in the eye and he said, "Oh, Alexandra, I know what this is, and we're going to be able to fix it. Your ovary has become torsioned in the fallopian tube, and we will try to save your ovary, but you may lose your ovary." In the end, they had to remove my ovary. It had swollen up the size of a grapefruit. It was covered with puncture wounds, and it had bled all over inside my body cavity. I had had so much internal bleeding that I had mild peritonitis. If I had not been treated, I would have died. And I'm still very upset that I visited the clinic twice before they recognized what was going on. It was only on the 3rd visit that they remedied the situation, and that remedy was an additional surgery.
The egg donation agency contacted me once, and the insurance company for the egg donation agency also contacted me once to try to see if my own insurance would cover the hospital bill.
After they took out the torsioned ovary, my intestines still did not right themselves. It turned out that I had an intestinal ileus. The ileus was a lot like a kink in a garden hose. And so I laid there on my back in a hospital bed for 6 or 7 days, and I lost about 25 pounds.
Cindy had many post-operative complications related to her emergency surgery. It took months for Alexandra to regain her strength. They are both still dealing with health issues, which they feel are a direct result of having made the decision.
During egg donation is don't do it. And every time someone engages in egg donation, they're rolling the dice with their health and their fertility.
Well, I don't think you can undo a harm in this case or any case, but I think what we need to do is to look towards the future and prevent other young women from being exploited. I mean, I urge every young woman I know not to do this, not to take a risk with this.